Hello, this is take 2 of this video. The first video crashed in the middle due to my extreme stress testing of Jackrabbit. Jackrabbit has been updated and is now moving towards the modulus framework, which I'm going to explain in this video. The Jackrabbit indicator has had a significant upgrade, and the last major upgrade to it. So let's load it and see where we do. Yes, this is what it looks like now. This is Jackrabbit's new signal line. To revert Jackrabbit to its previous state, simply load your settings, go to Style, and turn off the signal line. Jackrabbit uses the signal line to communicate with different renditions of itself. So we're going to leave it on, and I'm going to separate it from the main chart. There we are. The signal line actually showing a buy signal from Jackrabbit's default mindset combination. But we're not going to stop here. We're going to move to the next level. First, let's pick something aggressive. Let's go with a very simple risk mitigation. Turn off Trend Hunter. Turn off Gann pivots. And now let's configure risk mitigation. We're going to use it against the Binance Exchange with the BTC coin under the USDT based currency. So we'll start there. We'll do a light analysis. We do want confirmation bias, and we want to pull the time frame for BTC off the 15-minute chart. So, if BTC shows a buy signal off the 15-minute chart and XRP shows a buy signal off the 5-minute chart, then here we are. Here is our signal line. So all of these correspond to BTC and XRP showing a buy signal. This signal line is important, and I'm about to show you why. Because we are going to load Jackrabbit again. It's going to show up with the signal line. Then we're going to move it to its own pane. So, here it is, default settings. This is our BTC XRP combination. So now let's, same thing, risk mitigation. Turn off Trend Hunter. Turn off Gann pivots. This time we're going to pull the Binance chart, and we want to pull ETH on the USDT based currency. We want light mitigation again. We are going to use confirmation bias. And we are going to use the 15-minute time frame again. We'll let this load. Okay, now, here we have BTC compared against XRP, where when they both show a buy signal, it shows up on a chart. Here we have ETH compared to XRP. Same thing, when they both show a buy signal, then it shows up on a chart. Now this looks all fine and well, but it doesn't really get us what we need to do. So, we're going to come here. We're going to pick our signal source as Jackrabbit's signal line. This is important. This is how you connect the two Jackrabbits together. So the signal source is Jackrabbit, and we want to use the IOI source. Indicator on indicator. That is, this indicator is going to be fed into this indicator, and we are going to have a combined total look of both indicators. So now, this is BTC XRP, this is ETH XRP. But with the indicator on indicator signal line, this here is now showing when BTC and ETH and XRP all show a buy signal. So with just this very simple example, we have a three-way confirmation bias. Let me repeat that. With these two examples, we have a three-way confirmation bias. We could actually take off of this script, which is the first Jackrabbit, and make an alert. And the way we know the difference is right here. This Jackrabbit is pulling in on the signal line. So here is, click here. We can now buy XRP when it shows a buy signal, when BTC shows a buy signal, and when ETH shows a buy signal. All three linked together. So indicator on indicator. Jackrabbit now has the capability through the modulus framework of being able to extend this to any number of layers. The only restriction that TradingView has on this is it must be linear. That is, one layer on top of another. I can't take, for example, this layer and feed it into a third layer simultaneously. I must create links in a chain. For example, let's go to Jackrabbit's first modulus framework. It's alert system. So now, this alert system will place the combination of these two on the chart. So you don't need this, but I want to show you the chain effect. So the second one here is the second one here. We want the first one. So this links to this links to this. You must have one single chain. Now, you don't need to use this module for Jackrabbit by itself, as it has its own indicator capabilities for alerts built into it. That is, it can buy and sell on its own. Most modulus systems, though, will not. They will need to rely on this method for buying and selling. But that means that it can then take a strategy and give that strategy a framework for making signals, something which TradingView does not allow on its own. So that is important. So this framework is layered, just like a chain, one link to another, in a straight line. But when you delete those links, for example, let's delete this one. It should give me a warning, and it does. By deleting a link in the chain, TradingView removes the entire chain. So I'm going to say yes. All three are removed. So when you set up your links and you go to remove one link, unless you manually uncouple them, it will remove the entire chain, which is fine. That's normal. But remember, when you load Jackrabbit, you will always see the signal line now. Always. This is not yesterday's Jackrabbit. To get the functionality you're used to, remember to go in to the settings, go into your style, and turn off the signal line. When you're ready to connect it, like I just did, to another Jackrabbit or to other modules as they're developed, you have to have that signal line turned on. That signal line carries your buy and sell information to the next strategy in the chain. Let me repeat that. That signal line carries your buy and sell information to the next strategy in the chain. It is important. As the new modulus framework develops, what you will see is that signal line for all basic systems. For example, I have a test module here that's built strictly for the modulus framework. ADX. This has no buy signals, no sell signals. This is the equivalent of what Trend Hunter used to be, but drastically simplified. So we go over here, confirmation bias, all of the things that you would like to have, including being able to adjust its length, which you can now do because now using the modulus effect, I can create scripts that go beyond the limitations of having everything in a single large framework. That is, each module can now be custom tailored to very specific possibilities. And those modules can be constantly expanded. And that is the important part. So as you can see, completely self-contained. It puts out its signal line, and then its signal line, wait for it, can actually be delivered into Jackrabbit. So as these components continue to develop, Jackrabbit will become more and more powerful. Theoretically, there is no limit to the potential that Jackrabbit is capable of growing to now, simply by going with the modulus framework. Now, it does take a little bit more interconnectivity to use these components together, but I will be building some modules that are very simple cookie cutter starting points. Self-contained, all you need is the module and the alert system, and you're good to go with some very nice, easy profit-making tools. I will be able to actually incorporate the next generation strategy tester that can layer all of these modules together and evaluate your strategy as a whole, not just off of one single module. So the strategy tester that you're used to now is going to go away, and it's going to be replaced with a plug-and-play framework that fits right into this whole concept. So, take your time. Remember, turn off the signal line when you want to work with Jackrabbit, as you did yesterday or the day before. When you want to move to more advanced functionality, turn on the signal line and separate it from the main chart. And now you will be capable of actually seeing Jackrabbit's functionality as it actually operates, including being able to move it to the next step, to a module. You will literally be able to run different things through Jackrabbit. For example, comparatives against gold and silver versus Bitcoin, where if gold and silver dip into a buy territory, you can buy Bitcoin, just like I did with XRP, by using BTC and ETH as my factors. There is no limit to where this framework can go. You are not limited except by your own thinking. You do need to keep a trader's journal though, because as you can see, this can get real confusing real fast. So make sure you document everything carefully. The advantages though is there's not one big monstrous menu anymore. As each framework takes place, the menu will be strictly towards it, the individual component that you are working with. For example, what was previously Range Hunter. This is its whole menu. That's it. Everything strictly towards the ADX framework. And if you want to invert your signals for ADX only, you can. And there we go. Nice and simple. So as we keep working towards the new framework, Jackrabbit will keep getting more powerful. But the all-in-one script, other than bug fixes, will not be updated anymore. Everything will now be moving towards the modulus framework. Until next time.